Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. It's your favorite intern on the horn today, and welcome to the first episode of the Shadow DeFi Workshop series. Today we're going to be focusing primarily on concentrated liquidity, with an added bonus of a little Shadow DeFi suite tour. It's a little overwhelming, this type of stuff, for newer users, so I'm going to do my absolute best to keep this video short and sweet, get right to the point, and get our job done, which is CL. But it helps to know what you're looking at, so, with that, being said, just do a little tour today. If at any point you finish watching this video, you're more of a reading material type of person, or you just want supplemental cited sources, let's say, scroll on down right here, click on the Documents tab right here, this little link, and you're going to be in the Shadow Exchange docs. And this is your one-stop shop of everything regarding Shadow in the form of documentation. Got the X33 tab, we got the X Shadow tab, UniV2 Legacy Liquidity tab, Concentrated Liquidity. I'm obviously going to give you the rough overview today because we could do a 20-hour seminar on Solid, VE33, X33, yada, yada, yada. So, if after you finish watching the video, you need a little more info, feel free to pop on over here. And if you have any further, you have more further requests, more information needed, right now we've got our resources up here. Pop into the Discord, pop into the Telegram. The community is by far and wide the best community ever. Everyone is super, super helpful. And if needed, you have any issues, you can always open up a ticket. Without further ado, let's begin. So off the bat, I'm on the landing page. Always, always, always quadruple check that you're at the right site. Whether it's our site, anyone else's site, anything related to crypto, always be careful, guys. Like, I can't stress enough. A simple triple check anytime you go somewhere. https://www.shadow.so. That's shadow.so. Once you're on the landing page, you're going to see a few tabs at the top. We've got the trade tab. This is where you're going to be making your swaps, your trades. Your dashboard is where it's basically going to be given a really pretty short and sweet overview of your portfolio. It also is going to show your Sonic airdrop points. We'll get there once we put a position in. We'll get more into that. You got the liquidity tab. That's where we're going to be living out of today. You have your X Shadow tab. If you wanted to lock up and stake your Shadow and vote every week in the flywheel, there you go. If you want to go to the X33 and mint X33, you're going to go there, and this is where you vote. We've got a stats page showing a really nice breakdown of the analytics. You got your total value locked, your full TVL here. You've got your volume, you got your fees, and then this is just an overview of all of the top pool pairings right here. Right here we've got our other very basic quick metrics: price of Shadow, price of Sonic, price of X33, the epoch flip or the epoch duration, and then if the subgraph is synced or not. Quick tidbit on the epoch flip. For newcomers, keep it short. What is an epoch? In these Solidly models from Andre Cronje, you have these VE33, let's call it the flywheel epochs. From the inception of, let's say, a DEX like Shadow, from day 1 to day 7, the first 7 days is the first epoch. Once that 7 days expires, you move on to the second epoch, and we call that the epoch flip. So you can see every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Shadow flips, epochs. So you can see we have about 2 days remaining. 2 days, 20 minutes. Up here you have your wallet connection. For all intents and purposes, you're just going to click this, connect your wallet. Today we're going to be using Rabby as an example, and I've got about 1,000 Sonic in the clip to deploy for you guys to give you a great example of what exactly we're doing and why I'm doing it. Up here, a little more technical. If you're new, don't worry about this, but leave it there for now. Let's begin. We're going to click on the liquidity tab. Off the bat, we're going to see a few metrics on the top. We've got our number of pools here. It's a lot of pools. We got our 7-day volume. That's a lot of volume. We have our 7-day fees, which is around 320K. We have rewards as epoch, also known as emissions, at 288,000. And this is always live. It's always updating. It's always changing. Great little metrics right here. And a big thing to notice is a lot of solidly forks do not ever end up revenue positive, or let's call it the fees outweighing the emissions. So it's a revenue positive DEX, which is a huge metric on top of our revenue being, if I'm not mistaken, I haven't looked in a few days, we're still top 10. It was 8 a couple days ago over the weekend when I checked. So one of the top 10 revenue generating DEXs on the planet. Love to see that. And then if we look a little bit lower here, this is where, like I said, we're going to be living out of for today. This is your array of pools. Depending on the assets of your choice and what pool you want to go into, you're going to be looking at here. You can use the search function. You want to provide a little shadow liquidity, type in shadow. You want to provide a little brush liquidity, click, type in brush. If I was going to say, why would you choose a certain pool over another? For ease of use off the bat, if you're just a very normal Sonic user and you're not really too deep into the eco and you don't want your main Sonic stack just sitting there, you're going to be doing a Sonic oriented pool. But a lot of people, like a lot of the professional farmers, people who do this stuff for a living, are obviously going to be eyeing the APR yield here. Obviously, the higher the yield, the more money you're going to be making, and that's always a big incentive for certain people. You can see Shadow's got some ludicrous APRs, so this is a phenomenal opportunity to not only make your money make you more money, make your money work for you. It's also incredible for getting your Sonic airdrop points, because you can see these little these golden Sonic logos. These are going to dictate how the multiplier amount of whatever pool this is. So, for example, today we're going to be keeping it very short and sweet. We're going to be doing the Staked Sonic pool. Staked Sonic's provided by Beats. I'll show you how to get that. It's very easy, but it's awesome because it's a 12-point multiplier. So not only are you putting your money in here and you're getting your hourly, daily, weekly yield, you're also going to be getting your airdrop points, which is awesome. And don't forget, this is Season 2 of the Sonic airdrop program. Season 1 was passive points oriented, meaning you just have a whitelisted Sonic asset like Shadow, like Sonic, whatever it may be. You just had to hold it. Now, if you want to win big in the airdrop, you gotta be active, hence the activity points. Why am I choosing this pool today? So there's a thing in providing liquidity, it's called impermanent loss. So to explain it in an easy manner, what impermanent loss is you have asset A and B. You put them into an equal pairing in a pool. You got 1,000 Sonic, right? You want to do the Sonic intern or the Sonic, Shadow, whatever you want. It's two different priced assets. And to elaborate this as quickly and short and sweet as possible, if you're not careful about what you're doing, you can end up losing money in the long run. Because what happens is, if I put in $500 worth of Sonic and $500 worth of Shadow into a pool, and the price of Sonic skyrockets and Shadow doesn't do much, you're going to be left with a majority Shadow, and that's where the impermanent loss comes from. Because you're left with, basically a single side of one of the two assets you put in, and it was the quote-unquote losing asset. That's as short and sweet as I can explain that, as basic as I can get. And inversely, if Shadow skyrocketed and Sonic did nothing or dumped a little bit, you're going to be left with all Sonic. And now if you want to try to buy back your original position of the differing asset, it's not going to be a good time. And so that's why we're choosing the Staked Sonic pool. Is Sonic and Staked Sonic move in tandem. They move together. They differ a teeny bit, but for the most part, when Sonic goes up, Staked Sonic goes up. When Staked Sonic goes down, Sonic goes down. Vice versa. You can angle it in a million ways. So even if you open your position up and you walk away for a week and you come home and you got to rebalance, which we'll get into in a second, you're going to be losing little to no money whatsoever. And my final piece on the impermanent loss thing is, well, that sounds ridiculous. Why would anyone ever do that? Because exchanges like Shadow, phenomenal exchanges, they offer such ludicrous APRs that the yield you're getting for farming is far outweighing absolutely far outweighing your potential losses. If you're hounding, and you're all over your positions and you're getting knocked out, which we'll also get into, essentially the APRs are so ridiculous, they're going to far outweigh any minor losses you might have by going to a differing pair. So without further ado, we're going to go to my favorite, let's call this the entry-level pool. We're going to click on deposit. Give you guys a couple little tidbits, little pointers on this page. Up here, you can click on this little light bulb, and that's going to take you directly if you have more questions or, you want specifics before you get going. This is back into the docs on the CL page, but we already did that, so we're okay for right now. We could see our pool of choice right here. You can see our ranges, you can see our range types, our input amounts, and then a nice little graphical visual of what the heck's going on here. So what we've got here is, off the bat, we've got these, let's call them, what color would you, like a beige, this yellow right here, these two bars, the bars that I'm moving, this is your selected range. This is where you're going to be providing liquidity. And the difference between concentrated liquidity and traditional Uni V2 style liquidity is Uni V2, you're essentially providing liquidity for an infinite amount of pricing. So from 0 to basically infinity, you're providing liquidity for. What CL does is it's a modern order style AMM, and you're choosing where you want to provide your liquidity. And why is this so awesome on the back end? Or, people are, without providing liquidity, don't really understand how awesome this is. A successful and well-oiled machine that is a DEX like Shadow, if liquidity is deep enough, it's going to affect every single user making swaps, because the deeper the liquidity, that's going to be less slippage, less price impact. I'm sure everyone's ever been to you're trying to buy this new 100K cap coin or 50K cap coin. You want to put in $500. You got 30% slippage. You lose a crap ton of money. You get sandwiched. Yada yada yada. This is the improvement. This is the next level of that. So off the bat right here, you could see if I left this as default, I'm going to be providing liquidity for this order book range right here, let's say, and these are the two prices. So this would be one of the sides, and this would be one of the sides, because notice, if I increase this, where I press the plus button a little bit, it goes up. I'm increasing my range, and you can also see this little value right here. I'm going from 30.567 cents to 30.570 cents. So you're adjusting. You could see this kind of like Tetris block right here. You could see a lot of deep liquidity there. And then you can obviously see the historical price, this macaroni orange colored, this is the price. And to take all this and put it together for you, all these variables and metrics or what we got going on here, this is like a game. You want to keep the price of Sonic to be successful in providing concentrated liquidity. You want to keep the price of Sonic in between your range. So it's a trade-off. The tighter the range, the easier it is you're knocked out. And in order to make money and get your yield and get Sonic airdrop points, you have to stay in range. If you get knocked out in this pool specifically, like we discussed with the impermanent loss, you're totally fine. You're going to get knocked out. I'll show you how to rebalance. No big deal. But if you're not micromanaging this and you got a day job and you just kind of want to let it sit for 6 to 12 hours at a time, or you're going away for a few days, you're not going to pick a super aggressive high APR range. You're going to do the slow and steady race, right? You're going to go a little bit wider. I'm going to increase this a couple times. I'm going to make it a little bit even. And now you can see you've got a pretty wide range here. That's exactly what we want. So, like I said, for today, this is a beginner tutorial. This is to get your feet wet. This is a lot of information to try to cram into like a 10, 20, 30-minute video. So, without further ado, let's get to the actual business of this thing. So, like I said, I do have 1,000 Sonic, but as I explained earlier, this is a Sonic stake Sonic pool. We need some sort of a ratio or balance between the two. That balance is going to be dictated by how you set your range up. I'm going to give you guys a 30-second, or let's say 15-second, what I do. But before that, I want to show you what I mean by adjusting the parameters or the ranges of where you want to provide that CL2 is going to affect the balance. So if I start with wide, I'm going to just go like this here. You can see this is a pretty even ratio. If I type in, oh, this should be good. I want to do a 50-50 split. I want 500 Sonic, 500 Stake Sonic. Type that in. You can see it's pretty close. The tighter you go, these are going to differ a little bit. So you can see I'm getting tighter and tighter, and the value is going to go down a little bit. So just keep that in mind. The strategy I'm going to be providing to you today is going to be primarily for a nice around 50-50 balance, and that should suffice our needs and use cases for today. So let's get to the actual depositing of what's going on here. I'm going to refresh the page for you. If I was waking up in the morning and I was rebalancing, this is exactly what I would do. I personally like to view this chart inversely. I learned that from one of my best friends. Click on that. I'm going to click on wide. Boom. And then right here, see how it's a little bit off balance? You click on wide. Oh, hey, I'm going to deposit it. If I typed in the 500 here, see how that's skewed? It wants 186 Stake Sonic. And mind you, it usually trades at a premium, but that's a huge, huge offset. What I'm going to do is go 1, 2, boom. Now we're at almost a perfect 50-50. But hey, Mr. Intern, you only have 1,000 Sonic. Where the hell are you getting this Stake Sonic from? I opened up a secondary tab up here. We're going to click on Trade. I'm going to click on STS. And we need roughly 454 Stake Sonic. So we're not going to get crazy or, super in-depth with this. We're just, I just want to get your positions open today. We're going to type in, let's go 500. It's going to yield about 484 Stake Sonic. That's fine. That's fine. We're going to click on this. We're going to sign it. And we're in. Give this a few seconds and you'll see these values adjust. Right now it's showing 0 Staked Sonic. Give it a second. Any day now. Boom. And guess what I'm going to do right now? I'm going to press this max button right here. Bing. I'm going to put in, I need to keep a little gas. So we're going to do like 500. I'll keep it as 500 for now. We're going to do 500 Sonic, and we're going to do 454 Stake Sonic. We're going to click on Deposit. We're going to sign this bad boy. Congratulations. You are now a legendary farmer. You are a liquidity provider. You are bolstering and solidifying the network. You are deepening Sonic and more specifically Shadow's liquidity. You are making it easier for your friends and family to have less slippage and price impact on their swaps. You are the TVL. So, I told you guys when we first started the video, this is now the dashboard tab. Now that we have a populated dashboard page, I can actually explain things. You can see your little pretty portfolio chart here. You can see the amount in US dollars of provided liquidity. Here's where you will be claiming your rewards. Rewards are streamlined throughout the day. So if you want to claim it every 60 seconds, obviously it's not showing a lot because I don't have a big position, but say you had $10,000 in here, you could claim that crap every 15 seconds if you wanted, or every hour, or once a day. Or you can do the widest range on planet Earth on your position and collect it after a week of being on vacation without touching it. You get my point. Down here, you could see, I will say, that I love all the things I've ever done in crypto. Waking up in the morning and just viewing, or right up before I'm going to bed, viewing this is just beautiful. Just like we saw earlier, this is the pool. This is the APR that I'm getting right here. This is how much money I've involved. These are the rewards. And this is, remember I showed you guys, I wanted that beautiful 50-50 balance to give a nice cushion on both price directions. If it goes up, I got a little cushion. If it goes down, I got a little cushion. Because the name of the game is keeping your keeping the price within your range. I always say it's like a video game. Keep this little dot inside of your chosen price range. That's it. What else we got here? So, I also mentioned earlier, what happens if I go out of range? What do I do? So what happens is, say I do a semi-tight range, I go to bed, oh no, I'm knocked out. Thankfully, I'm in this pool. There's minimal and permanent loss. I'm going to click on, you're going to see this. It's going to be like all the way swung to one side, and you'll get a little alert here that says out of range. I'm going to click on manage. I'm going to click on decrease liquidity. I'm going to press 100%. I'm going to withdraw. I'm going to sign that. I'm going to sign that. And we're good. Now we have to re-enter. So you're going to go type in STS on the liquidity tab. You're going to click on deposit on our favorite pool. We're going to go with the same thing as last time. Mr. Interns 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Perfect range right there. Boom. And in this case, I'll do exactly what I did before. We already have our Stake Sonic and Sonic prepared. If you want to, do this method, which is kind of a requirement of around a 50-50 balance ratio, I'm going to type in that 500. I'm already prepared. I wasn't knocked out of range. When you wake up or whenever you walk away and you come back, you're out of range, you're either going to have a full position of Sonic or a full position of Stake Sonic in your wallet. You're going to do exactly as I did. You want a rough 50%. So say you had, 1,000 Stake Sonic, you type in 500 here, you're going to need around 550 regular Sonic. Go back to the trade tab, click on this, click on STS, and in this regard, I would put 500 in and I'd get my STS. Now we're going to go back here. Sorry about that. We're going to go to deposit. 1, 2, 3, and we're depositing. And we're back in, just like that, rinse and repeat. For reference, I have a long time, since kindergarten buddy, IRL friend. I showed him basically this, except on video. Just my first explanation, that entry level, he's been totally self-sufficient for well over a month or two now. Hasn't even called me. He's asked me a couple questions here and there about, specifics about everything else. But in terms of actually positioning himself in the pools, no issues whatsoever. And like I said, when you're ready to claim, you click on claim rewards. I've got a fraction of a cent to claim because I haven't been in it very long and I don't have a ton of money in here. Done. Money's claimed. That's it. And what we're going to do, like I said, as always, is this is going to be a slow accrual of money over time. I wouldn't even say slow. Like I said, it depends on how much money you're providing. If you're providing $100,000, you're going to get a crap ton of rewards. But we're getting our yield from providing liquidity, and we're also getting those Sonic points. And the Sonic points will be right down here. Look, I already have 75 Sonic points in this wallet. You could check that in. I would check that, maybe once a week or so. I'm not too sure how often that's updated, but you're going to go right here and look at it. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed this guide. I hope it was useful. I hope it helped you get it done. And once again, if you have any questions, please head over to the Discord. I'll link that in the description below, as well as the Telegram. Feel free to ask any community members if you have a little theory crafting ideas or you want a little more information. If you have any technical difficulties, feel free to open up a ticket in Discord. And that's a wrap. I am looking forward to the next video. Please give it a like, give it a subscribe, comment. What other topics you'd like me to go into? I already have a few prepared in the tank in the chamber. But if you have something specific and you want something more than others, drop a comment. Let us know what you want to see. Thanks everyone. Hope you have a fantastic week and weekend. And I'll see you on the next one. Take care.